Okay, I come back home from college, dropping out second semester, and I'm bringing all this stuff in one shot, kind of sneaking out in the middle of the night so I don't have to confront other people that I knew. And I get home and my dad he's furious, but because of his nature, he's quiet. So his worst thing is giving me the silent treatment. So he comes up to me, I don't remember exactly how, but he says, "Larry, you've got to get a job. If you can't just laze around here. You've got to get a job." So I search for a job. First job I get is with Hook's Warehouse, which is a drugstore bought out by CVS. And my job consists of loading up a little basket that goes out to a store. And then when I get that done, loading up a basket and goes out to the store. Loading up a basket goes out to the store. And then at some point I see the employees starting to move towards the break room, and bzzz, the break starts. And then we go in there and jibber jab around and then back to it. And I find out that some people have been doing this for 20 years. Well, a week of this is more than enough. It's like a lifetime of a job. So my next step is to get a job at a epoxy resins plant. Now these are called thermoset plastics, and this is where we put epoxy resins together and create new compounds. And I thought I was applying just for a tank cleaner. The tanks where they build this stuff up, somebody's got to clean it. And I thought, well, that's good enough. It's certainly more interesting than loading up these things from the warehouse. So I go there and they say, well, first we'd like you to take some tests. And I take a test and they say, whoa, your math is a lot better than we expected for someone applying for a tank cleaner job. So how about if we put you in quality control? So the first week I spend, I'm filling up these little cans with the epoxy resins. That's just to kind of get me broken in to the game. And I next get into the quality control thing where I get to go on tanker trucks and lower a bucket and then check the stuff out and see if it's good enough for us to accept. And I do all kinds of little experimental things with viscosity and this kind of stuff and so on and so on and so on and so on. But before I even took this job, I went to the IBM headquarters in Indianapolis, which it's not that big a deal in Indianapolis. And I go in there and I'm actually interviewing with the people that are field service, the ones that go work on the systems. And they say, well, why do you want a job here? I go, well, I want to figure out how computers work. Remember how I didn't understand that computer that was running the Fortran? So I thought, this is my entry into computers. I'm working on the computers, so I have to understand the computers. Well, I bugged my manager my future manager, but I bugged him every 2 weeks and said, are there any openings? Are there any openings? Because I had taken the aptitude tests and they said, whoa, you're ready to go. You understand mechanical stuff and all that deal, so you're ready to go right away, but we haven't hired anybody for 6 months. But I kept bugging and bugging and bugging and bugging him, and then he hired me, surprisingly. And I remember I came in out of my thermoset plastics job where I had just had an accident where this stuff came all over the place. I was using a drill press mixer and it got all over me and so on and so forth. So I stunk like a pig. And I went in there and he goes, oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We'll get you all set up and we'll have you follow somebody around that repairs computers. No! Remember those little cards I filled out in Fortran class where you punch holes in them? Well, the machines that punched the holes, the job I first had was repairing these bloomin' card punch machines. So it was a job, though. It paid well. 1973, I'm on top of the world. And I go to IBM basic class. And I'm up there in Chicago for 2 months learning how to troubleshoot key punch machines, which I pretty much knew anyway because I knew electronics and electricity. And some of the people in that class were from business backgrounds or sales backgrounds or all kinds of things, and they knew nothing about it. So he had to build it from the ground up. So I kind of helped some of those people along in this 2 months in Chicago. And I still said, oh, it won't be long and I'll be teaching. Well, that comes later. But I'll be learning about computers and how this all works out. Strangely enough, one of the people in computer class was a physics major in college, and I thought, who wants to do that? And he said, oh, quantum mechanics, that's where it's at. And I'm like, that's too abstract. I need to get in there and actually work on stuff. So this is kind of where I am. I'm now a Keypunch Repairman, and I have my own territory. I wear a suit and tie even though I'm just a mechanic, and get grease on my hands and gotta fix my tie so it doesn't get stuck in the works of the key punch machine, which it happened one day. It started to clutch out. But all these things were just wonderful. I got my own apartment. I was just on top of the world. And what comes next? That's the key. That's the key. What comes next? Well, boredom set in after about 3 years. And I decided I'll take a leave of absence, which is what another employee did. But he went he went to the seminary. I guess you can take a leave of absence for anything, because IBM was very good benefits and was very relaxed about doing stuff like that. So I took a leave of absence for 2 years to finish what? Physics degree. Because during all this time, I was still in touch with the professor that I had lunch with long time ago. Hey, this story is really picking up speed, and I'm talking real fast. So where are we going from here? Where does this all go? Well, the next video, it looks like it's time for me to do the next video, is to get into what? Return to Butler University.